Hello, my name is Sade Tramble, and this is my introduction video for Advanced Seminar in Leadership. You'll have to excuse me, I am recovering from what I hope is just a cold that I got a few days ago, so may have to clear my throat or cough a little bit throughout this video. Was definitely not prepared in my first week to have to do a video and be sick while doing this. I'm going to start where I currently am and work my way backwards through my history of how I got to where I am. So I currently am the Assistant Director of the University Advisement Center at Georgia State University, but at Perimeter College, which is the two-year associate degree granting side of the house. I am over the Decatur campus, University Advisement Center. Perimeter College has 6 different campuses, and there's a few of the things that I do, but my main thing that I pride myself in is supervising my staff of 5 academic advisors, 1 customer service specialist, and anywhere from 3 to 5 student assistants. Before I worked at Perimeter College, before consolidation, I worked at Georgia State at the Atlanta campus as an academic advisor, as a 1, 2, and 3. Started out as a 1 back in 2011 and worked my way up. And those are some of my assigned duties while I was there. But before I worked at Georgia State, I worked at Florida International University in their academic advising center as a senior academic advisor. And this was my first job right out of grad school and my first job in academic advising, in which I did not think I would go into, but I was able to use my experience from grad school to work with undecided students in the academic advising sector. So when I was in grad school at the University of South Carolina, I was in the Higher Education Student Affairs program, and I started there in January of 2009. I was a late grad from undergrad, for changing my major. We'll talk about that in a minute. And so I started the program a little bit later. It is a 2-year cohort program, but I still finished with my counterparts in the program in a year and a half. And while I was there, I was a graduate assistant in the University Career Services office, and I worked basically as a career counselor, a graduate career counselor. So I helped students decide on majors, decide on graduate programs, decide on career paths, and I really enjoyed that part of helping students make those decisions, come to those realizations of things that they loved and could do and study and then work in later on in life. And I was able to convert that experience into the academic advising field. And now as I've grown through academic advising, I've learned more about the administrative side of it by serving as assistant director and a leader in the office, that I'm able to see the importance of the retention progression and graduation, and which I hope to hone in on more throughout our program, throughout us studying in this higher education administration program. While I was at South Carolina, I also worked very closely with Dr. Jennifer Bloom, who is one of my mentors. She was our program coordinator for the HESA program and at the time, and she is one of the founders of the theory of appreciative advising. And so you would have thought, right, working at South Carolina, studying at South Carolina, that I would have known from then, with Jenny being my mentor, that I was going to go into academic advising, and that was definitely not the case. I had a lot of influence in my life in undergrad and grad school of going into advising, and I still throughout grad school was like, no, I love student affairs, everything. But ended up falling into academic advising even though I fought it. And but I love it, and there's a good reason why for that. So before South Carolina became South Alabama, and I studied initially meteorology, as you can see there for my minor. Since middle school, I had wanted to be a meteorologist and work for NOAA. And so I changed my major my senior year. I have a picture of the Mitchell Center there with our iconic Jaguar statue, and the Mitchell Center is where the meteorology department is housed. But I changed to broadcast journalism and found my love for higher education and student affairs by being super involved in undergrad, and met my mentor there, Dr. Nancy Garrett Howell, who is the director of advising for the College of Arts and Sciences of South Alabama. And again, having these great mentors who work in advising, I still fought advising, but she did know Jenny and helped me get into grad school and helped me meet my next mentor. And both of them are a really big part of why I am in this graduate program now. So going into my leadership style and how I am as a leader in my position currently, I like to use quotes. And before I even became a leader of any sort, an administrator, I would find quotes that inspired me and what I wanted in a leader, and so now I try to aspire to these. So my first quote is, leadership is not about titles, positions, or flowcharts. It is about one life influencing another. And that quote's by John Maxwell. I like to ask my advisors why they do this, why they love what they do, why they're passionate about what they do. Just tell me, I want to know the why. And so when they tell me the why, and most of the time it's because I want to see these students succeed, I want to see my students graduate, I want to see my students move on to their next goal, right, to accomplish this goal and move on to their next one. I'm like, then that is why we have to do the things that we're doing in the office. And some of them they may not like, and they may want to fight me on them sometimes. But it is influencing them, influencing that student's life, right? So I'm trying to influence them so that they can influence their students. The next quote is, in most cases, being a good boss means hiring talented people and then getting out of their way. I have been assistant director for 2 years now. I just moved to a new campus, and so I'm now supervising new advisors who I've worked with in the past, but now they are my direct reports. And so I ask them what they want to do. What do you want to work on? What project do you want to do? What group do you want to lead in this office? Because I want them to enjoy what they're doing. And then I give it to them and I let them go. And so if they need me, they can ask me. And if they need something from me, I will help give that to them. But otherwise, it's their project and they can do with it what they will, because I am letting them get their leadership experience through that. The last quote is, great leaders do not set out to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's not about the role. It's always about the goal. So in my position now, I am setting goals for my team. I'm setting goals for my campus. And I am working with my team to accomplish these goals little by little. My first goal with my new team this year is we have population management logs, and I plan on retraining them on how to work the logs smarter, not harder. I've been watching them throughout the summer and how they do it, and I know now I've set up trainings that will start in September, going over how to work these logs so that we can accomplish our goals week by week, little by little, and bring up that percentage little by little of our students that we're working each week. So that leads me into what my career goals are. And as you can see, my career goal is to be president. But no, not of the United States. It is to be president of a college or a university. I set this goal when I was in grad school. And then started my professional career, and somehow maybe got a little bit deterred and off track from this goal, thinking that for some reason maybe I couldn't do this or that I wouldn't do this. But more recently, I have decided that by going back to this program that I can still do this and still do this goal, and I'm looking forward to working through this, getting this doctorate with all of you so that I can still continue on with my career goals of being a college or university president one day. So thank you for watching my video, and I look forward to getting to know all of you throughout your videos.